All right. So, where am I? So, 12 jurors have been picked for Donald Trump's hush money trial, and selection of alternates is ongoing. So, let's just get right to the article. A jury of 12 people was seated Thursday in former President Donald Trump's history-making hush money trial, propelling the proceedings closer to opening statements and the start of weeks of dramatic testimony. And I'm hearing it should last about 8 weeks. The court quickly turned to selecting alternate jurors. The jury includes a sales professional, a software engineer, a security engineer, an English teacher, a speech therapist, multiple lawyers, an investment banker, and a retired wealth manager. I wonder if multiple lawyers is just the two that we already knew about, or if there's more. The first ever trial of a former American president will unfold in the middle of this year's race for the White House, ensuring that the legal troubles of the presumptive Republican nominee will be a dominant issue in the contest against Democratic incumbent Joe Biden. The trial will almost certainly feature unflattering testimony about the Trump's personal life before he became president. Why is there a "the" there? With allegations that he falsified business records to suppress stories in the final days of the 2016 election about his sexual relationships. The jury selection process appeared wobbly earlier in the day when 2 jurors were dismissed, one after expressing doubt about her ability to be fair following disclosure of details of her identity, and the other one over concerns that some of his answers in court may have been inaccurate. Okay, that's strange, but all right. The first one, it's understandable. I mean, Trump is known for his witness intimidation, so of course he would want, people would be worried about things like that. But lawyers who began the day with only 5 jurors settled on the remaining 7 for the panel in quick succession, along with one alternate. Judge Juan Merchan has said his goal is to have 6 alternates. In other developments, prosecutors asked for Trump to be held in contempt over a series of social media posts this week, and the judge barred reporters from identifying jurors' employers after expressing privacy concerns. Actually, I'm really surprised that we even know the occupation of these people. Like the foreman, he's a salesman who originally came from Ireland. I mean, granted, this is New York, so it's not easy to find, an Irishman who happens to be a salesman. I'm sure that those aren't infrequent, but still, if the idea is to keep these people's identities secret, why are we even giving professions and what their gender is? I mean, granted, an oncology nurse who happens to be a woman. I don't know which one left the jury. Well, that's stereotypically a female job, so that doesn't narrow things, but it could get dicey. So I'm surprised we got as much information as we did. But I don't know why why reporters would even want to identify their employers. I mean, what are you seriously trying to do? Are you trying to make Trump's job easier? Hey, I don't have to dox these people. I have reporters to do it for me so I can sick my dogs on them whenever I want. What are you doing? Seriously. They're trying to be anonymous and you're trying desperately to make them known. I swear, reporters are getting dumber and dumber in this country. What the hell are you doing? I realize you want to make a story, but seriously, do you want to make a story that one of the jurors was intimidated or killed because you couldn't keep your goddamn mouth shut? There's a difference between a person's right to know and a person's safety. We do not need to know who employs these people. We don't need to know that at all. I mean, unless you're, trying to say that one of the jurors can't be impartial because they work for Trump, okay, I can see where, that could come into play. But otherwise, unless there's some sort of shenanigans going on, why are we looking to release the identity of employers? Seriously, what do you think you're accomplishing with that? Absolutely nothing. Actually, it's interesting to find out that there are multiple lawyers and whatnot on the jury. It's interesting. Is it necessary? No, probably not. And the less we know about these people, the better. Because this is a man who has shown he is willing to intimidate witnesses, and he has a bunch of people who are willing to do his dirty work and attack these people. Why are we making their jobs easier? It's just mind-boggling. All right. The trial centers on a $130,000 payment that Cohen made shortly before the 2016 election to porn actor Stormy Daniels to prevent her claims of a sexual encounter with Trump from becoming public in the race's final days. Prosecutors say Trump obscured the true nature of the payments in internal records when his company reimbursed Cohen, who pleaded guilty to federal charges in 2018 and is expected to be a star witness for the prosecution. Trump has denied having a sexual encounter with Daniels, and his lawyers argued that the payments to Cohen were legitimate legal expenses. Trump faces 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. He could get up to 4 years in prison if convicted, though it's not clear that the judge would opt to put him behind bars. Trump would almost certainly appeal any conviction. Well, duh, of course he would. I mean, he's already trying to prevent the trial from taking place, so... Appeals and legal warnings have caused delays in the other three cases charging Trump with plotting to overturn the 2020 election results and with illegally hoarding classified documents. The jury selection process picked up momentum Tuesday with the selection of 7 jurors, but on Thursday, Merchan revealed in court that one of the 7, a cancer nurse, had conveyed that after sleeping on it overnight, she had concerns about her ability to be fair and impartial in this case. Now, I'm not sure now. I've also heard that she also was concerned about her identity being kept secret. So now I'm not sure if she's the same one and that's both, or there was somebody else who was concerned about their safety. Or maybe she's claiming that because she's afraid that her identity will be exposed, that she doesn't think she could be fair and impartial because she's worried that if she votes wrongly that she's going to be attacked. Maybe that's it. And though jurors' names are being kept confidential, the woman told the judge and the lawyers that she had doubts after she had aspects of her identity had been made public. Yes, probably the part about her being an oncology nurse and her being a she, possibly. I mean, seriously, I get it. You want to get as much detail on these proceedings as possible, but we do not need to know. We do not need to know who's on the jury. Yes, it's an interesting tidbit, but we're talking about a man who is willing to intimidate people and send his cult army after them. Why are we making things easier? So I do not blame her for being worried that enough information got out that she feels her life is in danger. I don't blame her one bit. Yesterday alone, I had friends, colleagues, and family push things to my phone regarding questioning my identity as a juror, she said. I don't believe at this point that I can be fair and unbiased and let the outside influences not affect my decision making in the courtroom. Decision making in the courtroom. All right, so friends and family have been giving her things that could reveal her identity. That's been out in public, is my understanding. So, yeah, I could see how that would make it difficult. And to be honest, if these people are giving her outside influence about the court proceedings, because we have articles that tell us what happened, that could also be a problem. So, yeah, I can see why that could be. But why are we trying to identify these people? I'm talking about the media. Why are we trying to identify them? We know what Trump is capable of. Why are we doing this to them? I mean, it's already difficult enough. In the E. Jean Carroll case, both of them, the jurors were told, never disclose that you were on this jury. Which is sad, because jury duty should be something you should be proud to have done. I mean, we know that Trump is capable of violence. So why are we putting people in danger? Anyway, let's continue. A second seated juror was dismissed after prosecutors raised concerns that he may not have been honest in answering a jury selection question by saying that he had never been accused or convicted of a crime. Seriously? You don't think that a bunch of lawyers could figure out whether you've been accused or convicted of a crime? Really? I mean, this isn't like a questionnaire for an employer. And they are usually pretty good at discovering when you're lying about that. Why are you doing that to a group of law enforcement officials? That's genius. Wow. The IT professional was summoned to court to answer questions after prosecutors say they found an article about a person with the same name who had been arrested in the 1990s for tearing down political posters pertaining to the political right in suburban Westchester County. Okay. Seriously? Now, if that was the same person as this IT professional, number one, that was 30 years ago. That should not color the way people see you now. However, I mean, maybe you would have gotten on the jury. Maybe you wouldn't have. Again, this was so long ago that maybe they would be fine with keeping you on the jury because it was so long ago and you probably have mellowed out about it. Why lie? Because the fact that he was dismissed tells me that it wasn't just a person with the same name. This was him. This was them. I mean, ugh. A prosecutor also disclosed that a relative of the man may have been involved in a deferred prosecution agreement in the 1990s with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which is prosecuting Trump's case. Oh, now that's interesting. Now that I could see that muddying the waters, okay. They don't want to have any concern that this could affect his judgment. Okay, I can see that. That's getting a bit personal. Because the juror was questioned Thursday at the judge's bench, off microphone and out of earshot of reporters, it was not known whether the man confirmed or denied either instance was connected to him. Considering he was dismissed, I'm going to say at least one, if not both, he agreed was connected to him, because otherwise there would be no reason to dismiss him, because then he wouldn't have lied the first time. So, yeah. The process of picking a jury is a critical phase of any criminal trial, but especially so when the defendant is a former president and the presumptive Republican nominee. Prospective jurors have been grilled on their social media posts, personal lives, and political views as the lawyers and the judge search for biases that would prevent them from being impartial. Inside the court, there's broad acknowledgement of the futility in trying to find jurors without knowledge of Trump. Well, yeah, you'd have to literally be living under a rock. I mean, people outside the country have heard of Trump. I mean, they might have heard of this case, they might not know what's going on, but they've heard of Trump. A prosecutor this week said that lawyers were not looking for people who had been living under a rock for the past 8 years. Because you can't. I mean, if you wanted a totally impartial jury in the sense that they have no understanding of this case, you would have to leave the country. You would literally have to leave the country. Because everybody has... Well, most people, I shouldn't say everybody, has some idea of what's going on. Or has at least an opinion on Trump. And, so yeah. After dismissing from the jury the nurse who had already been selected, Merchan ordered journalists in court not to report prospective jurors' answers to questions about their current and former employers. I cannot believe that journalists have to be told that. I mean, again, why are you trying to make it so easy for people to pinpoint a juror's identity? They're anonymous for a reason. Why are we trying to track them down? Yes, it's interesting to, talk to the jurors, after the trial to find out how they feel about certain things, how they feel the trial went, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But I hope if you do that, that will be anonymous too, because there's a reason that this panel is anonymous, and you shouldn't be trying to undermine that. We just lost probably what would have been a very good juror for this case, and the first thing that she said was she was afraid and intimidated by the press, all the press, and everything that had happened, Merchan said after dismissing the juror. I'm sure he was pissed. I mean, it's hard enough to seat a jury that would be unbiased in this case. So why is the press making their job more difficult? I mean, at some point, the press has decided that every little detail should be part of the public record at all times. Rather than, using their freaking brains and wondering, should this... Yes, we could report on this, but should we? This is just nuts. This, along with, there's two sides to every story, is just also nuts. Sometimes, no, there isn't. That when it comes to someone who believes in science and someone who believes in conspiracy theories. Why are we treating them equal? That sort of thing. So, we don't have to report everything. It's really okay. Prosecutors had asked that the employer inquiries be axed from the jury questionnaire. Defense lawyer Todd Blanche responded that depriving us of the information because of what the press is doing isn't the answer. Now, I'm not sure what the reason would be to get someone's employer unless it's, like I said, they are employed by Trump. Or I don't know, maybe they're employed by the prosecutor's office. Those two things, I guess I could see, why that would be problematic to be on a jury. But otherwise, why are we even asking for their employer? I mean, the district attorney's office on Monday sought a $3,000 fine for Trump for 3 Truth Social posts they said violated the order. Since then, prosecutors said he had made 7 additional posts that they believe violate the order. Okay, we went immediately from the jury to the gag order, and no indication we were doing that. Okay. Great job, Associated Press. What the hell? Several of the posts involved an article that referred to former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen as a serial perjurer, and one from Wednesday repeating a claim by a Fox News host that liberal activists were lying to get on the jury, said prosecutor Christopher Conroy. Well, that one juror who got dismissed certainly didn't help that narrative. It's wrong, of course. I'm sure both sides would potentially be doing that, but as was shown by the juror that was dismissed, they can try, but it's going to come out. So, Trump lawyer Emil Bova said Cohen has been attacking President Trump in public statements, and Trump was just replying. What part of gag order do you not understand? I mean, okay, he's attacking you. I get attacked in the comments, especially when on my videos that deal with trans people. I get attacked. You can exert self-control and not respond. I realize Trump doesn't have any self-control, but in theory, the judge had already scheduled a hearing for next week on the prosecution's request for contempt sanctions over Trump's posts. I've heard a theory that Trump is doing this on purpose, that this isn't a self-control issue, but he wants to be martyred by Judge Merchan, in this case, being forced to put him in jail, even if it's for a day, just so Trump can whine about how terribly mistreated he's being. And that's possible. I don't know if Trump would really be willing to take one like that, to go for a day or however long in jail just to fundraise. I mean, I don't think he would. I realize he wants to fundraise, but I don't know if he wants to fundraise that badly. Get a monetary penalty maybe, but I don't know about going to jail. I don't know if he's that into it. But maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, that is the end of that article. So, for those who are wondering, yes, today was trial day 3 because they take Wednesdays off in this court. Now, I don't know if that's traditionally how the Manhattan court system works or if it's just this trial, but Wednesdays are off. They only are in session Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So, I believe that's all I have for this video, and with that, I will see you in the next one.